Hi guys, welcome back to Lawlor's Law, your raw, unfiltered podcast brought to you by, at the minute, irritated Birmingham fans after that shot we watched on Saturday. Please like and subscribe and enjoy what we got coming. I'm joined by Max and Jordan today. So how are we doing, lads?
How are we, mate? You okay?
Hello,
Living
mate.
the
You all right?
dream, mate. Yeah, we good, we good.
Well, good as
Yeah,
can
mate.
be.
Cool. Right, so what do we want to talk about, lads? What we're going to bitch about today? Let's go.
So for me, I think let's start off with I think this season we've got to look at an individual kind of player performance standpoint. So for me, it's been rocky across the board. I know a lot of fans are criticising from the aspect of recruitment down to laziness, down to players not gelling. But personally, I just feel like it's too many big fish in a little pond, and there's a few individual errors and um, maybe not so settled squad that we thought we had at the start uh, that just need to be picked apart, really.
Oh, go on then. Got to throw a name out there. Let's go.
So for me, big one this season, and it's not any hate on him per se, but I would say the standout would be Cochrane. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, looking at Saturday, most touches on the ball. He was dispossessed the most inaccurate passer of the ball throughout the full 90. Um, Most unsuccessful dribbles. Just, getting beat by his man a few times this season. Like I said, nothing personal because he was a hero last season. And I think a few of the fans have got gripes with him that he's not what we had last season. But I don't think a lot of the players are. I think maybe we could count on kind of single digits of how many players that I can turn around and go, yeah, they're just as good as they were last season and what we expected. Um, I don't know about you guys if you've got any names.
Well, I'll touch on I'll touch on what you said because if you remember from last week, I spoke about Cochrane quite a lot and said
Mhm.
he was always being quite out of position and he struggles against any kind of decent wingers. Um, from Saturday, it wasn't the goal, but they had Bristol had another really good chance in Twine. He has a ball over the top and he kind of knocks it wide. I kind of analysed it earlier a little bit more, and Cochrane is, as a defender, you need to be kind of spatially aware, right? You need to check what's going on. So if you watch someone like, say, Declan Rice, for example, he's constantly kind of checking like that, just seeing kind of just who's around, just checking, his whereabouts. And Cochrane doesn't check once who is behind him, and he starts to stroll into kind of the middle of the area and I think it's their left back or their left winger just pops the ball over the top, and he has no idea that there is actually two Bristol players behind him. Two, not just one. There's two of them, and there's an overload on it, and the ball goes past. He ain't got a fucking clue what's going on, and that should have really been 2-0. So I spoke about it last week as well in terms of individual errors and kind of tactical stubbornness is what's costing us, and I thought we'd turned a corner with it, and then you go from Preston and you think it's all changed a little bit, and he maybe has got this plan B, Davis, and then it was just the same shit again. It was the same. It was the same kind of high possession, loads of passing. You said earlier, George. Was it what did you say? 13 shots, one on target. You said, and
Yeah, 13 shots in total, one on target.
not
I
good
was
enough.
going through the stats before the game. One big chance created, one big chance missed.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds like
but
Koga.
yeah, well, going back to Cochrane again, is when I say individually picking people out, it's again, I'm not trying to just dig on one player, and I think that's what's one thing that's bugging me at the moment is being kind of you can't be negative about anyone. That's how it feels. But like it, so personally for me, is it all Cochrane? Because last season he was being covered really well when he was caught out in against better wingers.
Mhm.
Um, so then you've got to point out, are the midfield jumping in to kind of cover the. And so, kind of segueing back a couple of weeks ago, Damari leaving players to run inside of Cochrane while he's dealing with a man out wide.
Yeah.
And Cochrane's always, the one thing I pick up on Cochrane a lot is he's always got an arm out pointing. If he's got a man, he will tell the back line who's going where. Now, again, does that make Cochrane look worse because we've not settled on a back four and people aren't picking their players up? Are we? Is there not a happy relationship with who he's got in front of him? Because the one game, which was Preston, where he looked confident, he had Keshi back in front of him, and you know, is that down to, again, like I said, it's whether it's that they've not gelled or whether it's just a confidence thing of knowing who your man in front of you is going to, like, what they're going to do and what their role is Keshi offers aggression, Keshi offers a little bit of nastiness, which I love Damari, but is he going to offer that same nastiness covering? So it's, you know, as a person who's played in the past, you kind of have to go into the mentality of, is Cochrane just watching who's in front of him, as in his teammate, and going, oh, maybe I shouldn't commit, or maybe I should overcommit. And, you know, I seen something online, I think it was on Twitter yesterday, where someone was like, Cochrane didn't make any overlapping runs. Again, is that Cochrane, or is that him not having the confidence of who's in front of him?
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry, I just think that I think Clara did him no favors in that. Well, the one, you know, the pass over the top that I was talking about, Clara didn't do him any favors. He was too far over at the right hand side as well. And I know the play is down that left hand side, but you've got to be spatially aware that if one ball goes over the top, that's what's going to happen. I spoke about Keshi last week. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet with that, because he's like I said, he was a little pit bull or a bulldog or something last week. He's everything you need in a Blues player, like aggressive and covering and helping and supporting. But I think that Paik, Iwata, it's not just Cochrane, and I feel like maybe I sounded like last week I was digging at him a lot, but I also said that I wanted him to succeed as well. I want him to do well. I don't want these players and this manager to fucking screw everything up and us to just be shit and it's just going to go completely the wrong way. I want all of them to succeed. Paik for the goal, if I could just quickly run through the goal. Paik for the goal against Bristol. He strolls forward. If you look at it, you've got Tommy Doyle that's about 10 feet away from him, and he's got his arms out like that. He's asking. He's probably shouting. You can't hear him, but he's probably shouting for the ball, like give it. You've got Neumann to the right of him. You've got Roberts to the right of him as well, and there's kind of 4 or 5 free players. He chooses the player that's marked by 3 Bristol players. Man marked by 3 players, Iwata. Why the fuck is he passing to Iwata, who got obviously going to get dispossessed? He's got 3 men on him, and then it's a quick kind of shrug off for Iwata, ball through over the top, not over the top. I think it was round, wasn't it? It was kind of round that left, the right back with Neumann at that time. He was kind of covering, and he's too quick, that striker, and it's in. So before I move to you, it's not just and let you talk. It's not just Cochrane. There's plenty in there that individual errors, same as last week. I said same. It's the same shit, and this is why it's rinse and repeat. And I'm getting a bit frustrated now that I thought we'd turn the corner, and maybe we haven't.
So for me, going back to this time last season, we were as a fan base, and I can vividly remember this, were singing Cochrane's praises that much that we thought that he was Premier League quality, and we had to keep hold of him and make sure that January he was bubble wrap because he was going to be definitely off to a bigger team. So now everyone's digging him out for something. But as you said, it's not a Cochrane thing. It's a team-wide, individually. I want to be the big bollocks on the pitch, you know. Paik, if we go over towards that, I spoke to Jamie and yourself a few times, and I said that, yes, he looked great last time we were in the Championship, but we also said when we got relegated, and I remember a few people saying that if Sunderland, I believe it was, did come in for him.
Yeah.
It's fine because we could rebuild. But now we've gone up and we were singing his praises that he was the second coming of Christ. And I think we're slowly starting to realise that maybe I don't really want to say he's not as good as we thought, because we know he's got quality in him, but maybe he's been found out a little bit in the formation and the surroundings. So who's backing him up? Because once you take Iwata out of that midfield, Paik just becomes, I don't really want to use the word obsolete, but just kind of lost.
I was going to say, it's like he's lost his little right hand man, hasn't he? Like I can see it. You're absolutely on the money with that. I think, but he's been dropped once this season. Paik, he started from the bench once.
Yeah, I think he was injured after the first international break.
Yeah, I think that was definitely an international break rest, wasn't it? I think I struggle massively with Paik, and I'll tell you for why. Is the way we set up. I'm right. I'm going with you two on this. Is Paik and Iwata are an incredible duo together. However, I think I think there's a very, how do I word this, a very fine line between a centre midfielder and a centre defensive midfielder. And I think Paik is a very good centre midfielder. He's good at getting the ball. He's good at keeping the engine ticking. He's good at doing all that stuff. I think if you rely heavily on him to do defensive duties, he's not built for that. That isn't his game. Paik's that guy that you want getting the ball and keeping that metronome kind of movement in the middle to just keep it ticking, keep it playing. That's fine. Without the brute force and power that brings with an Iwata next to you, I think he's fucked, personally. And it's not Paik's fault. I'd play Doyle over Paik at the minute, and I'd bring it went right back to 3. You go Doyle and Iwata, personally. If you want to advance Paik a little bit more forward, if you want Paik to be that number 10-ish and start going forward, try it. Fine, that's cool. And going with Cochrane, I'm with you on Cochrane. I think he's a good defender. I think he lacks pace, and I think that's not his fault. But I also think that he massively struggles. And like we said, Keshi is the answer, because Keshi will come back. It's always that thing. You're taught from a young un when you play on the wing, George. You coach football, you know this. Your winger will stay forward. If your fullback, if the fullback on the other team is advancing, your job is to get the fuck back and help out, because you can't get leaving your fullback 2v1. You are going to get exploited. Laird and Asai Samuel have the pace to deal with it a lot of the time. Failing that, Phil Norman is quick as shit, so he will get back and somehow deal with it. You're going to cross the ball and you've got Clara. Cochrane, it's sad really, because he's becoming the scapegoat again, isn't he, for our club? Because there's always a scapegoat of Birmingham City. If it's not Kyogo, it's fucking Cochrane. But it's tough, because I want Cochrane to succeed, as we all do. Anyone who wears the shirt, we want him to succeed. But I've gone around about a point of it. But I think, Paik's good, but I think in a DM role, he's not being utilised to the best of his ability, and he's becoming a sideways merchant, which is pissing us all off.
So for me, if we're going to pick out individual errors, one of the big things that I would say has to lie at the door of Davies, in the fact that individually, to a man, every person's given a role before they go out on that pitch. As a manager, you should know what that role should be. Your players should clearly know. I think tactically wise, the way we set up for that midfield would work if we went into a sort of 4-3-3, but with a deep lying midfielder. So if you play a pivoted role midfield with a Doyle or Leonard, because he's come into his own as well, another one that, he's got a mistake or two in him, but he's definitely coming to his own. But Doyle, Leonard next to Paik, with the Iwata tucked right in behind them, give the 2 centre mids the freedom to push. The holding midfielder sits, and the way that I always see football is it should be broke down into phases. So if you're going into an attacking phase and it's the right-sided centre mid, they go up, it then pivots to a 2-man midfield, which would be Iwata and Paik. If it's left-sided, it would be Doyle / Leonard filling in with Iwata while Paik goes. So personally, from my standpoint, I drop that number 10 role and just go, it's not working, boys. We're lumping it over the top too much. We're trying to play wing play. There's no point in a number 10. If we're going to play a 3-man midfield, that automatically then becomes your 10. They should be able to give the license to burst and then have your 2 men sitting. But again, that's an
That
individual error.
that makes me it makes me think about when you say about shackles off or the shackles on. You've said about phases. You have to know again positionally where you're meant to be in different phases of football. You're absolutely bang on with that, and you have to change where you are on the pitch. It's simplified to what phase you're in. It's exactly how football works. Almost like the perfect football. You know how like Holland used to play.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you remember, yeah. And it's about those kind of positions. You take up someone's position when they move. It's total football. I think it was called total football.
Yeah.
But yeah, shackles on, shackles off. You then start having to look towards Davis, in my opinion, because Paik was becoming a backwards sideways merchant, but we know he can do it. We know he can go forward. So I just start to wonder about how restricted they're being made to be in these games.
So, but you
I don't know
make
if you agree with that.
you make a perfect point, and this kind of goes over to then moving on to another individual, which would be Iwata, where I think I've said this in the chat a couple of times to both of you. If we're going to look at Paik going to a sideways backwards merchant, and we're wondering why, have a look at the amount of shots and touches outside of the box compared to inside the box this season. Look at Iwata's shooting, where we used to, scream shoot every time he got the ball outside the area. He doesn't do it anymore. We try and play this smart, touch it into the back of the. So that to me then says that in training they're working on pass it sideways, play zigzag football, get it into the penalty area, then maybe have a shot. Look at, offloading first, don't just shoot, which that would make sense then into why Paik is kind of going sideways backwards. Again, we don't know because we're not inside that training ground. We won't be able to kind of, nobody, and I mean nobody from any level would be able to give you the insight into that unless you're at that training ground and But another thing that concerns me again then would be, set pieces, failing to score from set pieces. I know we got one at Preston, but something's happening in training where they're being told to do certain routines or they're trying to play it smart. That would then go into the whole, Cochrane not going forward as much, not doing the overlapping runs he was doing last season past Keshi. The deliveries aren't coming from as deep as they were last season. We're not doing the whole kind of like Laird and Cochrane crossing from nearly kind of halfway line sort of areas. And to me now, if you put, say, a Dutch into the team or, even Dykes, you've got to go to the old Dukey thing where my mind casts back to the likes of Pedersen and Collan, just whipping a ball through, hope that Duke gets onto the end of it. If he knocks it into the goal, great. If not, he's knocking it down to your smaller man to run on and get a tap in. Again, this all relays back to individually what is happening for them players to not be doing those jobs and to be completely different to what we know.
This is absolutely the point. And we watched Tommy's vlog from Stoke, a couple of months back, and they were just all the fans were just screaming, shoot, round the area, shoot, and it was that extra pass every time, just trying to make it the perfect goal or the perfect pass all the time. And they're being told to do that. They have to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't understand this restrictive way of playing. And all you're hearing on TalkSport and Sky Sports at the moment is football's actually reverting back to the fucking 80s with the long throws and the long balls. It's going backwards again. It's going back to how it used to be. This Pep Guardiola style of football is it's retracting. Because look at Arsenal. Arsenal were doing this whole set piece, long ball, pump it in, get a goal, sit back, 1-0, see you later. We're going to win the Premier League. That kind of thing.
You've just hit the nail on the head with that, because if you look at Man City just falling apart because the Pep football that they used to play, they can't defend against a lumped Stoke. It's Stoke football.
Exactly.
It is Stoke football. Lump it forward to your big man.
What did we do at Preston?
Exactly that. Exactly. And the worst part is we did it with the smallest men on the pitch against a ginormous team. And this is the thing.
It fucking worked, didn't it? That's what's pissing me off. Is it worked, and you don't shithouse it. I said we played well, but you get the result at a place you need to get it at. I said it last week. So go to Bristol and maybe try something similar. But no, we go back to this fucking passing, 75% possession. Afterwards in the interview, he's like, "Oh yeah, we were like the home team." It's boring, mate. It's fucking boring.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
There's only so much. Yeah, go on, Joe.
That was
Fairly head off
literally
you,
you took the. Yeah, I've let you two go at it. I'm literally sat back there. This is brilliant. No, it's fine. Like I had that segued in the back of my head ready because I'm sick to fucking death of Chris Davis saying we dominated possession. Fantastic, you dominated possession. Tell you what, you can dominate. Fucking shots on target. Have a fucking shot. I know the step up from League One to Championship is different, but I'm not being funny. We did it for fucking 10 years. It's not like we don't understand how the Championship fucking works, is it? Sometimes you've got to have a big man. You've got to play like a nasty bastard because we are a working class football team. We're always going to be a fucking Birmingham City who is from that area. Play nasty. Fucking, there's a reason we all idolise Djukovic, and that man deserves his statue because he was a nasty bastard.
Colin as well.
Well, you look at it, the closest thing we've got to that now, the lumpy shithouse, absolutely kick the shit out of your player is Clara. And look at the fucking praise he got last season. Look at the FA Cup game against Newcastle. Look at the plaudits he got at the end of the season. There's a reason why we love that man, and that is because he is just a brutal fucking shithouse. Look at the Ipswich penalty. The first man to want to give it the scrap. Yeah. We've lost that kind of
edge.
Yeah, the nastiness. We've gone back to how we were when we had, I liken the days of Sanderson and Bakuna being just absolute nasty bastards in the games of West Brom. And then you've got your nice players like your Scott Hogans, and we went through the days of like your Lee Novaks and stuff where it was just nice and, get you through a 90 minutes and go home shaking hands.
Sorry, when's the last time you heard "get into them, fuck them up" at St Andrews? Because I can't remember the last time I heard it. No. It was years ago.
I'll be honest, mate. When was the last time you heard anything at St Andrews? Don't even get me started on atmosphere down there at the minute. Yeah. I don't know what's gone on.
Ipswich game was loud as fuck, and it's been dead since then. Really, I think this is gonna get me a lot.
We're bored. We're fucking bored. That's
I'm aware.
Right. Just come and play football. Put a challenge in. Give it a little bit of heart. Show that you care. Do a bit of a J and a bit of a Clara. Put your head in. Put your foot in. But all 11 need to do it. They stop pansying around the fucking field and passing it backwards and boring us to fucking death. I'm getting pissed off now.
This is what I will say. This is what I will say about the away games is that, look at Blackburn away. We sold that in out, and you could tell the happy clappers that had come out. You do hear "fuck 'em up, get into them" away. You do. Especially when we've only got 1,000 to 2,000 there, we do hear a lot more of the old Birmingham City being nasty bastards. When we take, Coventry, for instance, very tame because we took a load of happy clappers, and the one thing that you see a lot of is the kind of get out of my seat brigade that come out for those games, and unfortunately it's starting to leak into the home games. And I agree with you both. Yeah, we are kind of bored at home, but what's the point in us being bored? And I think this is a big point for me, is that when we're nasty and when we're fucking loud, we are one of the nastiest places you can come to, whether we're bored or not. If we just get that atmosphere up, the players will feel it and they'll get nasty because they know that we're on them. These fucking happy clappers that sit down in the bottom of the stands now, and they're clapping along, and you can't swear at the football and you can't stand. Well, the Tilton Dragons down there, go get her job and go walk around with her. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to be a nasty bastard. I'm going to fucking ball at a lino all alike. I went to when we played in the cup earlier this season against Port Vale. I was sat in the paddocks with my daughter, and I gave the lino a round of fucks, and I screamed that loud. Everyone just stopped what they were doing and turned around and stared at me, and I was like, "What's going on here? Like, what's so soft?" And then we had a couple around us that were talking about going on a trip to Dublin and what castle to book into. Fuck off to the bar and go talk about it in there and let me get on with my fucking football screams.
Jay knows about me. I knows as well.
I'll tell you, if I ever get you two at the same game next to each other, I'm in for a long 90 minutes and one of the most entertaining of life. Max, I think the linesman who played with our team when it was Leicester at home when we lost 3-2 when JJ scored two, has probably still got scars from what Max was screaming at him from the side. Me and Max and my brother are about 5 rows behind, and out of nowhere, Max was just exploded into this lino, and just like a dead silence all over. No. Just fucking screaming at you.
I have got to say though, like, you know, we used to sit block 10, Jane, back when we were younger, and you know how much trouble I used to get myself in being right behind the goal. I mean, I got Jimmy Bullard wound up the one game from calling him a gypsy. You know, there was stuff we used to do, like, that you wouldn't be able to say and do now. Like, you wouldn't get away with it. But again, it goes back to this whole point of just what is the soft belly stuff about with our fans. You can't say anything to anyone now without them going, oh, you can't say that. I've criticised players and sat there and support the people in the shirt that play in front of you. No, if they're being a dickhead, I'm going to fucking tell them they're being a dickhead. You don't like it, you go to Solihull Moors where you're not allowed to swear. You go and stand in a family stand. You know what I mean? Don't come into the Tilton and tell me I can't criticise someone, and don't come to an away game and tell me that I can't stand up and sing for 90 minutes. It's not happening.
I'm just sick of it. Like, the atmosphere is sometimes, it pisses me off because I want to get up and sing, and then I stand up to go and say, like, I'd sing something, and then everyone behind me, I can hear them all being like, and I'm like, you are. No.
Also, I think.
Do you think it's got anything to do? Sorry, do you want to go?
No, go on, Max. You carry on, mate.
Do you think it's got anything to do with this ownership at all?
Yeah.
In terms,
100%.
Yeah. Because these happy passes and whatever. I'm worried about this because you get warned about it, don't you? Like Man City and all that lot, and it just the atmosphere just dies.
I can prove to you this point now. Me and my boy went to. Forgive me, I can't remember. Oh, Sheffield Wednesday. And so I was really late to get my ticket. I didn't think I was going to make it. And we sat in, is it block 38, right next to the away fans?
Yeah, that's
my God, I've never heard so many people say the wrong name of a player. I've never heard. The Sheffield Wednesday fans are giving it. Some bloke's got his top off. Barry Bannon literally runs down in front of us shouting, and people are sat there looking at the phones. And I'm like, you fucking arseholes, because if there was 50 of us that just stood up and fucking give it for once, they wouldn't come back doing it again. You know what I mean? And I've been at games now this season, and I'm hearing people, and they don't know names of players, and it's irritating the shit out of me. I think Kumas come on as a sub in one of the games, and someone went, I didn't know Buchanan was back from injury. So are you fucking taking the piss? Where do they even look similar? What, they've got curly hair.
I wish he was.
Mate, honestly, I heard one bloke that once. It was the Port Vale game again, sat in the paddocks, and Kanya was on the pitch. So Fujimoto was on the pitch, right? And I think Kyogo had gone for a warm-up, I believe it was. And he just looked and he went, we're finally going to get to see Fujimoto. And I went, he's been on the pitch 45 fucking minutes. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, what? Just open. Is it fucking just complete obliviousness, or is it just people that genuinely have no clue about football, have come over from America for fucking Yankland, fucking Yankee Doodle Doos, and go, oh, look at us, we've gone for Charlie's Chicken and we're going to have a fucking pint on a match day, and we're going to feel like Green Street hooligans. Just go to fucking Man City or Solihull Moors, leave us alone.
Imagine having another 30,000 of them, though.
Mate, honestly, I think I'll end up.
The Soul's going to. I'm so worried about the Soul going, because this massive stadium and whatever, and it's going to be filled with these lot. So I'm worried. I'm very worried.
Do you know what as well? Back. If I see, and I'm sorry if you watch this and this is your child, if I see one more sign asking for a fucking shirt, my 5-year-old's going to start fucking scrapping them. Grow up, Go and do what we used to do, stand round in the freezing cold for 4 hours after a game and wait for it properly. Fucking stand there with your sign going, Stano, can I have your shirt, please? Fuck off. South Korean flag thinking Pate's going to notice you. He doesn't give a shit about you. You know what I mean? Just piss off and go and do it properly.
Yeah.
Sorry. I get what
I agree with you. I agree with you. I completely agree.
Oh my god, my concept has been the same, and I'm appreciative to selling out stadiums. I'm appreciative that we're getting this big fan base coming in, and I get that the Amazon, and also I'm gonna hopefully speak for all of us. We love the owners, we love Wagner, we're happy that Wagner's at the club, we love all that stuff. My concept has always been the same, right? People who don't understand football, and I believe everyone in life gets an opinion, but shut up in the stadium. My God, the amount of times I've heard someone turn around and say, Stansfield's been fucking useless, Stan. I'm like, he's so pressed on his own for 90 fucking minutes trying to run at defenders with no support, and you crying at him for any shit. You know what? This is going to come across, and I'm going to get slated for what I'm about to say, yeah. But I'd have Ivan Sunjic back right now because you know what? He wasn't good at football, but he fucking rolled teams up and he fucking fired us up and he clattered fuckers in the middle. And that's what right now we fucking need someone to be nasty again who isn't Clara. Because it's all on Clara to be that bastard.
I want to keep them up. That's who I want right now.
Give me someone. Yeah, give me someone who's going to slam
Give me a David Davis. Give me a fucking David Davis back.
Yeah.
The bloke still throws up his heads when he's doing his fucking celebrations now. In Alva Church or wherever he is. Yeah. Absolute icon of a bloke. This is the thing, though, is I sat there the other day, and I think this could end quite smoothly with how we see the players these days. In 5 years, in a pub quiz, will you remember half of these players? Not a fucking chance. No. I could name, I think, where in the past we've turned around and you've gone, you know, even the shit ones like Lovenkrands, there was a chant that you remembered them by. If you turn around to me in 10 years' time and you go, yeah, but that Kanya Fujimoto, I'll go, oh yeah, fucking, you know, he's another Will Packwood. He's one of them that gets brought up in a trivia game when you come back at 3 a.m. for afters and you sat with your boy trying to reel off names of lads that, you know, played three match performances for fucking Birmingham City. This is the thing, is I don't get attached like I used to players, and I think that's purely because it's such a throwaway game now that you can't. But at the same time, it's, again, I'm going to end my personal opinion with Kyogo is that I'm not giving up on him. I've not given up on him. But is he going to be remembered in the same vein as Che Adams or Djukovic? Not a fucking chance. He might come good, but he's never going to be that bloke. He's never going to have the kind of cult status that Alfie May had, because the bloke just doesn't have the aura of, you know, if he wasn't scoring, but he was giving us a bit of a G up and stuff, he doesn't, he misses his chance, puts his head down and just jogs back to the halfway line. This is what I mean, is that these players are going to be such a flash in the pan in our memories. You know what I mean? The likes of your Claras, maybe they'll stick round and they'll be your Michael Morrisons that we remember. But the rest of them,
I'll give you a player. I'll give you a player to back up your point straight away. Christoph Dugarry.
Yeah. One season, he's gone down as he's a god in our minds. You know, my wife works with a lad who's from Argentina, and I often talk to him about Mauro Zarate, and I'm like, yes, you know what I mean. So this is what I'm saying: the everlasting impact, and I'm not just doing it as a nostalgia point. The everlasting impact that these players have on fans' minds. This group currently, the League One group, 100%, you could kind of pick out 10 names out of there and go like that because of what they did. But if that team stayed as it was and we didn't bring in another player, you would not turn around this season and go, oh yeah, do you remember that player? Great, unreal lad.
Interesting with Kyogo though, because on the radio earlier there were Celtic fans ringing up about, Brendan going, and they said they never replaced him. We're missing him. We never replaced him. I can't believe we let him go. And I'm sat there and I'm like, you can't fucking score.
But
you're missing a lot.
We go back to what we said about Cochrane earlier. I think a lot of that's to do with what's around him. Yeah, I know he's had his chances one-on-one where he should be putting them away. But he showed with that offside one at Wrexham, he can fucking finish. And we have got to remember that the lad's coming off a really bad season in France. I think it's going to take him maybe. Again, we're not seeing enough of him to be able to. I don't feel like we can judge him on the minutes he's getting. Personally, that's like when we diss Dykes, because Dykes comes up and pops up with them last minute goals with a 10-minute appearance. You know what I mean? Whereas last season when he was playing, we fucking hated seeing him come on the pitch. When he pops up with them 10 minutes, great. That's what Dykes does. He's there to win a header. He's a lump the ball onto his head, win it. Kyogo needs to build into a game. He needs to be running through a defence. If you take him off after 45 minutes...
Sorry, go on.
If you take him off after 45 minutes, he's ran his arse off, but there probably has only been one big chance created. You ask most strikers across the world, it takes 3 or 4 chances to be able to score. Jay, again... He goes through these spells where he doesn't get it, but then he'll get 2 in a game because, you know, the chances have come, but he could have had another 4 in that same game. Kyogo's not getting that opportunity. He gets 1 half or maybe
20 minutes.
20 minutes. And a lot of his work is to run through and kind of open the space up. The actual amount of shots that he's had this season isn't that much when you consider that he's an out-and-out striker.
I'm a very firm believer in Kyogo should start, and I'll tell you for why. Like, it's not just one. I believe there's a goal scorer in there. You've seen what he does for Celtic. Celtic is not too far away. Scottish Premier League and Championship. No, I'd say Championship's slightly better, but Celtic is still up there. I think even if Kyogo doesn't score in a game, I've always said the same thing about Kyogo is the way he moves, the way he pulls defenders, the way he does stuff, it's going to cause an issue at some point. At some point, centre-halves are going to get exhausted. If you've had Kyogo running at you for 60 minutes, making movements, making centre-halves go left, right, by the time you brought Lyndon Dykes on, by the time you brought fucking Dukes on, they're shattered. They then can't be asked to be winning headers against fucking Ducks. They can't be asked for Dykes.
Go back to Ipswich and look at it. It was, I said last week, still the best performance of the season up there anyway. And it was Jay and Kyogo from the start, and they were all over him. Ipswich was shitting themselves.
Even if you wanted to go little and large, lump it onto Dutch and let Kyogo run, and then use Jay as your backup, because we know that Jay doesn't need as long to get into a game. Use Jay as the backup and keep the same. This is what annoys me is we keep the same formation in every game, but then we change it and we change everything about the whole game.
All the players go with it, don't they? Yeah, I agree with
It's like if you're going to take Kyogo off, put someone similar onto him. If he's creating the chances but not scoring them, then put Stano into that position. You know what I mean? It's got to be like for like. It can't just be, oh, well, we're going to go into this and then just completely change it and go a different format. Because then you're basically starting from square one.
The thing that started to wind me up, and I keep thinking about it more, Davis tactics. 2 things I'll put out there. 1, we had so many shots from outside the box, like we said last season. And the amount of times we scored a goal because it spilled to Alfie Mate, it spilled to Stano, it spilled out to someone to tap into an empty net. Kyogo would have opened his account by now if we just took more fucking shots, because the keeper won't be able to handle it. Kyogo's got to tap in. And it winds me up so much. The other thing that annoys me, and this pisses me off a little bit too much, is, like you said, we change formation when we're losing. We go to like a 3/5 and we go wing back attack. That's fine. What annoys me is by that point, he's either started Dykes and took him off, or Dykes is no longer about on the pitch, and then we start crossing the ball. And I'm sick to death of having the big man on the pitch and we're playing passing football. We bring 2 midgets on and we're then trying to cross it into them. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Wasn't it? Our mate said Roberts was on the pitch and he put Roberts on and put Dykes on. Roberts is the one that fucking crosses to him. Look at Swansea. Why are you taking him off for?
I can't believe it.
Look at Preston. Look at Preston. We went to a back 6 at 1-0.
Yeah.
We literally went to a back 6. I didn't go to that game. I was sat watching it on TV, and I'm like, why the fuck have we gone to a back 6? And why the fuck? Yeah, like, mate, my head just went to fucking Mars when we went to back 6. I was like, we're 1-0 up. Why are we trying to play for a draw when we're 1-0 up? I was like, fuck me, man. Just stick to your formation. maybe change some personnel, but stick to your formation. If you're going to put Samstead on, push Iwata back into midfield. Not play Iwata and Samstead next to each other. What the fuck was that?
In all fairness, it was a back five plus cash in. Let's be fair about that point there.
Yeah.
No, it was a. And also, did anyone else, when Stansted actually managed to get minutes on the pitch, I felt like, the Ian Wright meme where he's like, I thought you were dead. That's how I felt watching Stansted walk on the pitch. I was like, he exists.
I like him. I like Samstead.
I've got no issue with him. I've got no issue with him whatsoever. I don't understand the fallout with him. He's done nothing wrong.
He played 10 minutes and he looked like he was so happy to be out there. And he was like, the pictures after, he was like, come on. He gives a shit. He cares. He wants to play.
And he's that nasty bastard with his hand. He's got it in his locker to just absolutely crunch someone in half. Also, I'm going to segue very quickly off Blues players. And I know we spoke about it a little bit last week. Can we talk about the fact that Peacock Farrell's turned into the Blackpool saviour of all time and what the fuck is going on with Blackpool?
I've seen TikTok compilations.
Yeah, I have as well. Yeah, I have.
Why is Peacock Farrell
mental?
It gives me the same vibe when Sam Cosgrove went to Plymouth and everyone was like, he's the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
Oh, when he was at not Plymouth, you're on about when he went to
not Plymouth, yeah.
No, not Forest Green.
No, he went to
Barnsley. He went to someone.
Barnsley,
that was it.
There's that fucking video that keeps going round of the keeper picking the ball up and trying to be cocky, and Cosgrove knocks him over and he drops it, and Cosgrove gets a tap in, and now he's out in fucking Australia.
I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that.
But I think personally, I think that tactics, big thing now. I think if Davis doesn't go, which I've got no rush for him to go, I've got no issue with the bloke. If he doesn't, the backroom stuff's got to change, because I think that's where things seem a bit slippery, if you know what I mean. I mean, like we did touch on earlier, is in set pieces. One goal from set pieces all season's horrendous. Go on. What was you saying?
I was going to say, what winds me up the most when you talk about backroom staff? We're not having enough shots from outside the box. You've literally got Tom Huddleston in your fucking backroom staff, who's renowned for thunder fucking the ball most weeks for Tottenham. And was it Hull as well? And like 30 yarders, 25, he'd slam them from distance. You've got someone who was an expert in hitting the ball from distance with power and pace. You've got Iwata who's clearly gone in his locker, and he's just for some reason being told not to hit the ball anymore.
I heard rumours that Iwata's got posters of Tom Huddleston in his bedroom.
I think your point, George, with the tactics and Davis, and that you're not in a rush for him to go. I don't think I'm necessarily in a rush for him to go either. I think it's important to differentiate between a nice bloke and a really good tactician. I think he's got time in the bank because of what he did last year. 111 points record, all this, that, and the other. Won the league. He's got his time in the bank, and but you feel sorry for him because he's a lovely bloke. You don't want to see him stressed, and he's got wrinkles in his eyes, and he looks tired, and all this, that, lot at the end of the game in the interview, and he looks stressed. I don't want him to look like that. At the end of the Preston game, I felt like a lot of his frustration and his upset came out at the end when he was celebrating with the fans. He was going mental. It looked like he was going to cry when we were clapping him because we were singing his name again. He loves the club, but is he the right kind of fit? And that's what I messaged Jay earlier, and I was talking about fans, and then we've got kind of, I think our fans fit into 3 different types of categories. Now, people watching this can disagree with me, but your first category is it's consistently positive, but kind of a bit delusional. The other one is consistently negative, but also a bit delusional at the same time. And the third is the one that I think we all fit into, which is sensible, understanding, knowledgeable, constructive. Because my issue at the moment is I'm fed up of going on social media and seeing just wankers. I'm sorry if you're one of them out there watching this, but you are a wanker, okay? I work very hard. You guys work very hard. We pay for our ticket, okay? I'm on a minuscule fraction of what these players and this manager earns. If I want to air my view that I'm pissed off, or at a game like George said earlier, and I want to have a shout and a scream and a swear at the liner or the player or the manager or whoever I want to shout at, I'm going to fucking shout at you because it's my right to do that. But then also, if you do something right, I'm going to praise you as well. But you can have both, you know, and you can go from week to week of praising and then being constructive, but then you might praise again, then you might be constructive again. You're allowed to do that. But apparently, as soon as you start saying that you're not happy with the tactics or the formation today or the substitutions, oh, you're not a fan, you're not backing the team, why are you not backing Davis? You fans like you are useless. You shouldn't be anywhere near the club. No, I'm not. I'm not happy with what happened today, and I'm allowed to say that. So this whole kind of rant, and sorry I've kind of jumped on it, but if you're on social media and you're in those first two categories, have a fucking day off social media and just sit in a dark room a bit, because I'm so sick of you telling me what I can and can't do of being a fan of this club, of players that are probably, I've been a fan longer than some of these players have been alive, as I'm sure you two are as well. And it's my right to do so. And Davis said that he's a manager, the players, it's our club. They're just passing through this club. It's always going to be my club. So I've got every right to say what I want to say. So certain fans out there, give your head a little wobble because you're pissing me off on social media. All right,
I personally have had to take a break from X because, well, like Twitter, because the fucking stuff you read on there, like I think the other day I went through, like, before I popped off it, I went through 5 different posts that went Davis in, Davis out, Davis in, Davis out. I was like fucking doing the hokey cokey on there. What the fuck's going on with them, man? Just like the thing is we've all got our opinions are like arseholes, you know.
We've all got one.
We've all got one. Some of them just have a little bit more shit in them than the fucking others. You know what I mean? Some of them should probably stay closed. Some of them have been Bonnie Blued and are just a bit too open and public for everyone else to know about.
If we're shit one week, why can't we just say we're shit? Like, we're allowed to be angry at it. We're allowed to be frustrated at it. This is my whole thing. And if we're really good, like at Preston, like last week on the pod, I was like, might have turned a corner, did really well, was really proud of them. I feel really happy. Today, I'm just full of rage because Bristol pissed me off. But then Portsmouth on Saturday, when I go, I might be happy again. But as a football fan, it's just this all the time. You're allowed to change how you feel. And like you said, you're allowed to share your opinion. But stop telling everyone what they're meant to fucking feel.
I feel like if you're that passionate about it, do what we're doing. Get on a podcast. Air it properly. Show your face. Show your face. You haven't got to put it out on social media and hide behind a fucking, you know, a picture of a fucking player. Put your face out there. Give it. If you've got some real criticism and you stand on your own shit, go out there and fucking do it.
And if someone sees us on this and they want to talk to me about my opinion today or last week or your opinion today, I'll see you in the Roost. We'll have a fucking beer and we'll have a chat about it, and you can tell me how you feel. Stop hiding. It's
the kind of, you know, the stigma that I mean, I've been with Jamie when he's had it, Tommy as well in the past, where there's this stigma about being online and talking about stuff, but you'll be okay to spurt it on Facebook in a fucking group, or you'll be okay to put it on Twitter, but because they record themselves, or they, you know, it's so vain and it's so this and they're only doing it for attention. No, we're doing it for the same reason you guys are doing it, but we're actually not afraid to show our fucking faces. And if I say something that you don't like and you have every fucking, you know, that single-minded brain cell that you think that you're going to come up to me at a fucking game, which someone has before in the past, and threaten me over it, fucking stand on your bullshit, because the thing is I'm saying what I'm saying as a passionate fan, and I think that everyone should be allowed to have that opinion as a passionate fan. But some things don't need to be put on social media hidden. If you're gonna say it, fucking say it. I wouldn't say anything on here that I wouldn't say to a player or to Davies or to another fan. And there's a lot of people online now that I'm seeing that saying stuff, you know, that, and they'll argue back and forth, and I kind of get into the rabbit hole of reading them sometimes, and I'm like, you two are such pussyholes that it's like fucking school fighting where you'll text each other, you know, back in the day, oh, it's like a BBM scrap, but then you'll see each other face to face and you'll walk the opposite way. Like, if you're going to stand on your bullshit, stand on your bullshit.
But if you've got an argument, for it, if you've got an argument for it, I'm so happy to sit there and listen to your argument. If you can,
Yeah,
back
exactly.
it up, that's absolutely fine. And we'll clink beers and we'll have a chat about it. That's absolutely fine. This is my opinion. This is your two's opinion as well. People are going to disagree with us. Not every face fits. You might not like mine. You might not like yours. That's fine. We're not meant to like each other. We're not meant to agree with everybody. That's why conversation is good. Conversation is good. But you know what? If Davis makes a bad substitution and I want to call it out, I fucking will, because I think it's wrong, but you might think it's right. So that's fine. But that's my opinion. But don't tell me that you're not willing to listen to me about it, because that's just so narrow-minded. I don't want you anywhere near the club. That's kind of, I've started this whole thing and we're having a good chat about it, but that's my whole rant in a nutshell, is just back yourself, have your opinion, but let others have theirs as well. And social media is just getting toxic, man. And if there's no fucking atmosphere in the ground and all we're doing is now just hiding behind keyboards, and it's American fantasizing fans with happy clappers coming and watching us, I don't want that. I'm getting worried. That's what I said at the start. I'm getting a bit concerned. So this club is going a different way than how I want it to, a little bit. And I know I maybe sound a bit extreme, but just a bit concerned. A little bit concerned.
The thing is, no one's expecting. I don't think any of us are expecting it to go back to the 80s and have everybody showing up in Aquascutum and Burberry and just trying to scrap for a football team. But if I want to show up and I want to be a bit more passionate about it than you do, and you just want to sit and enjoy your game, you're allowed to. But I've just paid my ticket price, so I'm going to do the exact same thing that you're doing. You know what I mean? And
you stay there, down,
for someone like me, especially, who I don't have a season ticket this season because of commitments elsewhere, and I pay per game. If I'm paying the amount that they're charging for some of those fucking games, I'm gonna fucking do what the fuck I like. I don't want to kind of incriminate myself here, but last season I had a bit of a row with a steward because I had a vape in the stadium and I completely forgot I was really into the game. I had a vape. He come over and he went, "Stop vaping," and I turned around and I was like, "Oh, sorry, boss, it was the fireworks smoke." You know what I mean? It blows my mind when you're in a ground that stuff like that can happen. So you can have fireworks and smoke machines and fucking fire, but if I have a puff on a fucking electronic cigarette, you're gonna kick me out of the stadium. But the worst part is that people that fucking grass on it. The same as when I'm all for money coming into the club now and stuff, but when we were owned by those fucking rotten bastards before, and there was a few good lads that used to creep in up through the family stand because there was the door at the top of the bar, and there was a few good lads that used to just creep in. We're a working man's club. Not everyone could afford the ticket prices, and some people didn't want to put the money into the club, And then someone went and grassed on them on Twitter, and I'm just sat there and I'm going, man, grow up, have a day off. What harm were two lads that didn't pay a ticket price doing to get into the ground? What's the issue with it? I don't see why everyone's got to be so involved in other people's business.
That's what
it's rich being on a podcast and us moaning about it, but I just don't. I don't get it, man.
I ain't making you listen. I ain't making you watch. If you want to watch this, fucking turn off.
If you didn't like it, there's a skip button or there's a turn off button.
Exactly. I'm not forcing you to watch it or listen.
This is what this has been born out of, isn't it? This is the idea of this podcast, is we can kind of say the shit that's pissing us off at the minute, and social media is a massive piss us off at the minute. That's where it's at. Can we segue onto Portsmouth? Because obviously this is going to be a long pod, and let's be honest, if we just did social media, this could be a 6-hour venture right now, because we could go on about social. But Portsmouth coming up.
I lost my head. Sorry, I lost my head, Jay. Sorry.
That's right. It's great. We love a head loss, but what do we think he needs to do with the lineup for Portsmouth? Because I'm very much a go Kyogo and Stano, and just see what happens at this point. Go back to the Ipswich team as much as you can and see what the fuck happens.
I agree. So I'll let George go, because I agree with you, Jay. I'll let George go.
So personally, for me, I play League One football again. Set up like we did last season. This is his chance now to play the football that he likes to play, but not get too stuck into it, because Portsmouth are a good football team. They're another Preston. They're going to be 11 men behind the ball and just fucking kick shit out of you. It's such a rough place to go as well. Portsmouth is such a horrible place to go. Infamously, they were one of those teams that everyone hated to go. I'm not even talking the Redknapp days. I'm talking way before that. They've always been a place where people hated to go. That bell that you used to hear when you tuned into the final scores, and you could hear the bell in the background. Like, they just do things. It's a good old school football club, and they've never let go of their morals. They play some good football. They play some shit football. It goes to, is it the Gattuso meme? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's how it's going to be. That is how that game is going to be. And I think that we have the chance to set up and overwhelm them if we play our football. If we try and do this possession-based, run the ball to the side of the pitch and then run it to the other side of the pitch and then maybe put one cross in, we're not going to get anything out of this game. If we play the football we played last season, which was not the complete opposite, but a little bit more of a stronger tactical version of what we're playing now, we get something out of this game.
Agree.
Yeah,
agree. I think we've got. Go.
I'm a bit worried about the game as a whole, to be honest. I think that we spoke at the start about having the atmosphere and somebody putting a foot in and the crowd getting behind them. That's what Portsmouth have got. Their away fans, especially, like, mental. So their players are going to come to a decent ground. They're going to put a foot in. They're going to challenge. They're going to fight for every ball. They might not have the quality on the ball that they probably don't, to be fair, but they've got a good manager who wants to play, strong football, push forward. They're probably going to be happy to sit back and try and hit us on the counter like Bristol did, to be honest. And I think, like George said, if we play this sideways and backwards passing game from one side to the other, which I think we'll do, I think he ain't going to go away from his way of tactics this week. I think Davis is going to set up probably the same. You're going to have the same players in there that you can kind of predict who's going to start, and he's going to play the same kind of football. And it's going to be, I can see us losing 1-0. Absolutely see us losing 1-0 because it's going to be boring football. Crowd's going to be down apart from the first song where we sing "Keep Right On" and then it goes dead. We've all got to try and get behind them. Yes, we have, of course, but as soon as Portsmouth get their tails up, they don't even have to be that good, mate. They're just they'll nick it. I'm worried about it.
I think you'll see the return of an Iwata at centre mid. I think Asai Samuel's back, and he loves Asai Samuel. I think the issue is we might be underestimating Portsmouth in terms of, I know you think they're going to win, and I'm with you because they have the ability to. I think if you look at their front four, it's a scary front four we're coming up against. They've got Colby Bishop, who can finish, good finisher, knows where the back of the net is. One side, you've got Josh Murphy, top assister last year in the Championship. Very good player. I'd say probably top 3 best wingers when he gets running. Philogene is obviously the best winger in the league, and then it's up for debate, but Josh Murphy's up there. They've got Connor Chaplin on loan from Ipswich. We all hate him from the fact he booted the ball into the stand when Nobed scored that penalty in the 95th minute against us for Ipswich. And then they've got Segasic. They've got a young Australian kid, quick as fuck, deadly left foot, hits it from outside the box. So you've got 4 very good players there. Marlon Pack in the middle, solid centre mid. Don't know who they'll have next to him. I think they've got Dazelle. I think they've got Andre Dazelle. So Dazelle will play as well. These have got good footballing team with counter-attacking ability. We need to be very cautious, and he will be cautious on Saturday. But I also want to see, and I'm living this dream where Patrick Roberts cuts inside and Asai Samuel's meant to be fast. Everyone says he's a really good progressive wing back for Fenerbahce, or was it Galatasaray, and he attacks and he's great. I want to see it. I want to see you bolting past Patrick Roberts. I want to see that kind of thing we used to do with Laird, where Laird would run, someone cut inside forward, cut inside, play it to him. That's how you're going to score past teams.
Said it last week.
Again, if we're going to do that, you've got to go back to what I said earlier about pivoting. So if Asai Samuel's going to go with Roberts, Iwata's then got the license to drop into right back. Then Roberts drops into the midfield, or Asai Samuel drops into the midfield, and you rotate in phases. So in possession, in the attacking possession phase, if Asai Samuel's going, then Iwata drops. In out of possession, defensive phase, then you've got to rotate and you've got to have cover. That's a big thing in football, is covering your man.
Each other's positions, you have to follow up on it, don't you?
Yeah.
I think I sound obviously this week. I think I sound quite negative, maybe, and I am a little bit, but it's just my opinion. I just think we do not take this game lightly, because this is not a game you should take. You can't take any game in the Championship, but Portsmouth at home, everyone's going, oh, we lost at Bristol, but we'll sort it out on Saturday. If you apply yourself properly, you'll sort it out on Saturday. If you set up properly, you'll sort it out Saturday. But if you go into that game kind of half pissed, like we have with every other game, where it's just fizzled out, we'll get turned over.
I think the issue is, I think you lose Saturday. I think the Davis alarm bells kick off with Wagner at that point. I think Wagner said on public against Wrexham that he's got his back. But I think there's only so many times he can watch this. And Wagner looks at social media. Wagner can see what's going on. He's not an idiot. He goes to the away games and everything. He's in with us. He's fully committed. He's going to watch this decline happen. And he's going to have Vietnam flashback from Rooney. And he's going to go, not a chance. See you later. If we're edging towards relegation zone at some point, he'll pull the trigger very quickly.
He was going to back him. He was going to back him in the open house, wasn't he? Because you're not going to do a Marinakis and just be like, right, you're sacked on the pitch kind of thing. He's going to say, yeah, you got my full support. You got my full support. And then he's whispering, behind the scenes going, if he loses these next two, fuck him off. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want him, like I said earlier, I don't want him to go necessarily. I want to give him a bit of time, but it's gonna reach a climax, isn't it? It's gonna be keep playing like this, not getting results. Fans get pissed off. Revenue goes downwards. So in the open house, it was all about how many times like X4 and X3 that the food and beverage and the revenue's gone up and the ticket sales. As soon as that starts to decline a little bit, Wagner and his board and his little American kind of team will contact him and say it's going the opposite way.
So
they get him pissed off.
To add on to that, Millwall hasn't sold out yet. So are we starting to see the loss of interest? It's the first game this season that's not already completely sold out or closed. Are we starting to see that kind of pivot over where people are going, well, if we lose against Portsmouth, I ain't going to the fucking Millwall game. I'm not going to put money behind the bar. Another little kind of thing, if we've got time, Jane, is, how long do they give Davies? And now with Rodgers gone from Celtic, are Celtic going to be knocking on the door of Davies? And
I've heard rumours. I've heard rumours. Obviously, I don't ever want someone to not succeed at Birmingham City, but I think the fact he's been to Celtic before, the fact he was under Brendan Rodgers, the fact that he would play the kind of football that would light Scottish football up, wouldn't it? Because I've seen Scottish football live. I've been to games. It's 45 minutes of people running about, which is all what Davis does. He'll knacker a team out and then he'll go and kill them. And that's what he wants to do. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Would I take Brendan Rodgers? Yeah, I probably would, because he plays aggressive, attacking football, and he wants that. And I think Davis has tried to play that, but I think he's overcomplicating football for me a little bit too much.
If you take Rodgers, do you bring Trusty back as well in the January transfer window? So we've got left-footed centre-back.
I think the only way that works is they clearly want Kyogo, and I'd be scared to let Kyogo go, because you all know what's going to happen. Is Kyogo will go and he'll score a fucking hat-trick first game, and we'll all be sat there going, brilliant. I think most managers could get a song out of Kyogo, and I think the song is coming with Kyogo. I think we're overcomplicating the ball to him. I think you just got to, I don't care if he bobbles off his arse into the bottom corner on Saturday. I think you start him. He's not going to get goals unless he's getting minutes. His movement's good enough. He just needs one to fall into the corner, and it's going to happen, and I think you'll see the life of him come back then. But would I take the squad right now?
What's the odds, George, for Davis? Have you got the odds for him to go?
I've got no odds at the minute. It was more whispering earlier.
Rumours,
yeah. So I heard murmurs. I think one of the lads mentioned it at training tonight as well. That obviously he's got strong links to Celtic, and they wouldn't be surprised. I think there's just murmurs. It is just one of those kind of, you hear it knocking about, and you kind of go, oh, there is some sort of, kind of like you could see it happening sort of thing. But does Rodgers come to us? That's another one. He's like,
would you take Gary O'Neill?
No.
I
Wholeheartedly.
don't mind him.
No. No, not a chance, mate. Not
Why?
a chance.
Why?
Everything he's done up to this point isn't. It's not as.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Bob.
No, I'm trying to put this in a polite way that, yeah, he's all right as a manager, but he's not done anything to overwhelm anyone. he's not someone that you'd stand up and go, "Oh, he's my first choice." You
Yeah.
know, with
I get that.
like Danny Roll would have been my first choice before the Rangers
yes.
job.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers, I could see something there. You know, maybe just to get us to the Prem. Then when we're in the Prem, it'd be one of them. He'd lose his first 5 games. He's the first manager sacked for that season. We go and get this absolute wonderbar, fucking amazing manager in. But no, I personally, I'd be so underwhelmed with it if it was. I'd want someone of a pedigree that I know they're going to get us to where we want to go. You know, we've took the gamble with Davis, and he did great for us. And hypothetically speaking, if he was to go tomorrow, you've got to put a statement in charge. It can't be another maybe we'll see and gamble. It's got to be a big statement name that 100% he's going to do it.
Yeah, not Rooney. Not a name like
that. Go get Gerrard. No, we're joking. I don't want that.
Allardyce, Sam Allardyce.
Oh, Big Sam. Yeah, no, I mean,
Big Sam.
if his tactics weren't so outdated now well, I say that we spoke about it earlier. That kind of football's coming back into fashion, so maybe I wouldn't be completely against it.
He shithouse a 1-0. He'll shithouse a 1-0.
Yeah, no, I don't want boring 1-0 football, though. I want someone who's actually going to convince me that we're doing good. I mean, I wouldn't want to put the kind of haiku on it that it's going to happen, but Ipswich are on a really shit run of form. We've got a couple of weeks, maybe, of kind of does Davis go, does Davis stay? You know, there's a chance of Ipswich sacking their manager in between that happening.
But he's linked with Celtic as well, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's linked with Celtic though.
I was going to say
everyone who's half decent.
They're already saying they're going to try and hold on to him, is what I'm hearing. So they already think that he's halfway out the door. He's got 1 foot out the door, kind of thing. They're kind of saying they'll fight.
I mean, McKenna's your dream, innit? He's your dream. Kind of go and get him if anything happens at all in any near future. I'd be chucking the whole January transfer window money and just saying, McKenna, like, take us to the promised land. Like, just get us there. You know, it's got to be, if Davis does go, it's got to be a statement name. It can't just be another flash in the pan, maybe manager. It has to be the one this time. Yeah. Like, we've had the flash in the pans, we've had the, nearlies. We need the one that's going to do it. Yeah. And I think the one that we overlooked was Lampard. I'll say I think the one we overlooked was Lampard. When they wanted a big name, Rooney shouldn't have been it. It should have been Lampard.
I'll end this segment for me on this bit. I wouldn't be against giving Mowbray another chance because what happened to him was very unfortunate. We got results under Mowbray.
Tactics didn't work at West Brom though.
Yeah, but and I get that, but he turned. I still firmly believe that if we had Tony Mowbray without the health complication and obviously why he had to leave, and we didn't have Marvinus in charge for 6 games, which was dross, I think we survive that season. We go down, and I think Mowbray could have probably progressed us.
But Mowbray don't get blindsided by Mowbray a little bit because it was following Rooney, who was the biggest pile of dog shit I think I've ever seen.
I think that's the thing with Mowbray is I think we kind of got blindsided by the fact that he actually just come in and did what was expected of a manager and got a tune out of a good team of players. Going off of Southgate, a big contract.
What? Chris Southgate?
No, I can't be asked for Jordan Henderson to sign a 6-month contract at Birmingham City. No, not a fucking chance.
Going off of Southgate.
Harry Maguire is on
there. Imagine.
Right. We might score him a set piece if Harry Maguire comes, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Let's move on because this is going to be long to edit. Right. You said 1-0 Portsmouth, Max. What are you saying, George? Because I'm going to go 2-1 Blues.
It's got either a 2-0 Blues or a 1-1 written all over it. It goes one of two ways. It goes 2-0 Blues, and we're comfortable, or it's a 1-1. There's no in between.
Late equaliser again.
yeah, there's no in between on it, mate. I can't, like this time last season, I was jumping into results thinking I was, you know, picking them out for a lottery result because I was going fucking, oh, we could pan these 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. And I thought because we didn't get our first gear last season, that we'd come up this season and turn it on and we'd probably get a couple of them. Like I will say, early in the season, I thought there's going to be some big results. I'm going back to reality now and I'm going like, this has got 1-1. Andre Dazelle, heartbreaking goal, celebrates in front of the fans. We get a Lyndon Dykes shithouse header in the last minute.
Yeah. So I will say, obviously that's kind of disregarding the loss. But is there kind of a place in your world where we can lose that game? Because I don't. Please let me explain that I don't want us to lose. I want us to win. I promise you. But in my eyes, that can happen. So is that not a possibility in your eyes at all?
It's hard to say at this point. Like typically I will not give a prediction out until the day of a game or until at least I've seen who's in and around the squad. Yeah. If Jack Robinson comes back in and he goes into the team, we lose. If that back line isn't Clara and Neumann, just sack the game off already, I think.
Yeah. Ashton and Robinson, two centre backs.
For me, it has to be down to the lineup now. Whereas in the past, I've been a bit more like, I'm confident with every single player. I'm now very sceptical of. I won't say too much until closer to the time because it depends who shows up on the day. You know, you could have an absolute barnstorming game from Stano, and then you could have just he's chasing shadows for 90 minutes. It's one of them. In my world, as it stands, I think it's a 1-1 or a 2-0 win. If we get to Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and I'm stood in the Roost, and I see Robinson in that fucking lineup, and I see Kumas starting, I'm chucking my ticket in the bin and I'm walking away there and then. I promise you now, if he starts Robinson and Kumas, each of you get a fucking point on me on Saturday because I genuinely, I'll be staying there to get pissed. I'm not even going in to watch the game.
Yeah, we'll just do shots. Unlike the team.
Someone's got to, haven't they, I suppose?
Why not? And
someone's going to take shots.
I don't. If he starts that team, I will just cry in the Roost. You will just see me in tears into a Cardinal again. It's sulking. Final segment, and probably my favourite segment we brought in, which is Wanker of the Week. So, obviously, last week, the unanimous decision of me and Max was obviously Sir Jack Robinson. But he's wonderful sending off. So, Max, I think being that Jord missed the first week, we'll let Jord have this one.
Yeah, mate.
So I'm historically stacking up here. I'm going to go back a couple of games and I'm going to go to the Hull game. And I don't really care about his fucking name, but it's that fucking manager that they've got who accused one of our stewards of telling him to go back to Croatia when he just told him to go and sit down. I'm not being funny. Birmingham City stewards are that fucking stupid that they wouldn't know where fucking Croatia is. You know what I mean? They don't even know what the flag looks like or what colours are on it. They don't even know that fucking Luka Modric played. You know what I mean? It's the most utterly ridiculous thing I've heard since League One. Fucking, all they do is time waste. You're just a soppy little bollocks and just grow up, mate. And do you know what? Go back to Croatia. There you go. I'll say it. If you're going to fucking cry about a fucking steward telling you, you've probably heard worse from the fucking fans. I don't see how you can put a complaint in about being told to go back to Croatia anyway. If you don't want to go, I'll go. It's fucking nicer over there than it is here anyway. I'll fucking go for you. You fucking crybaby bitch. Honestly, mate, it's ridiculous. I don't really get wound up with that many players. Bannon could have been, if I was on here a couple of weeks ago, Bannon would have got it 100%. But I mean, he gets wanker of the decade. But yeah, for me, it's got to be the Hull manager. I don't even know his fucking name. Don't really care, to be honest. I just hope he enjoys living in a shithole part of northern England. And, you know, when he does go back to Croatia, maybe he'll appreciate the fact that we were just trying to help him out.
Well, this has been a very, very interesting but fun episode of Lawlor's Law. I've had a fucking whale of a time with you boys. So, honestly, lads, thank you both so much. It's been a pleasure. Please
Cheers,
like
mate.
and
Mate,
subscribe.
thank you for having us on.
No worries. Always, please like and subscribe, guys. Obviously, get the word out. Share us if you could on all socials. Just, you know, if you're going to be negative, have a day off, as Max said, for fuck's sake.
Have a
Keep
day
on,
off.
guys.
Have a day off.
Keep right on, mate.
Keep
Keep
right
right
on.
on.